Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name's Katie and today we're going to be doing a book haul. So I'm very excited about this book haul because we've got a mix of a couple of books that I got that were new releases that came out, and then a lot of books that I got when I went to Oxford recently. They have an amazing Blackwell's there. So I've got the Blackwell's bag. It got a bit crushed when I was trying to take the thumbnail off. Oh well, it's like the best bookshop in the UK, honestly. Although I do love Topping & Co. in Edinburgh. That is a very good bookshop. But anyway, this one is a very close second. And it's just such a huge shop. It doesn't look that big from the outside, but when you go in, it's massive. And you go downstairs and it's like underground vault. Oh, it's so cool. I spent so much time in there when we went for the weekend. I was literally in there every day. And it was Black Friday weekend, so they had their like £100. If you spend £100, you get triple points, which then gives you back like £30 worth of credit. So I was going to take advantage of that and get all of the books for Christmas for all my family. So this is a mix of books for myself, which I'll start with, and then books that I've got to give to my family for Christmas. We do something called the Book Fairy in my family. So my grandpa started it and now I help him. So we get books for everyone in the family to be from the Book Fairy. And like every year, we've always had a Book Fairy book for Christmas. So yeah, I'll go through all of those as well. But to start with, so the first book was not from the Blackwell's in Oxford, but was a pre-order. Well, it wasn't a pre-order actually. I just went in to Waterstones to get it when it came out. And that is The Strength of the Few by James Islington. So this is the second book in the Hierarchy series, the first book being The Will of the Many. So I was so excited for this one. I read The Will of the Many earlier this year and loved it. So yeah, I was really excited for this one to come out and continue Vis's journey. I have actually read this now. I just finished it today. So I won't go too much into my thoughts because I'll save that for a wrap up. But I did really enjoy it. Actually, I think I might have already wrapped this book up slightly before I finished it in my last November wrap up. Oops. But anyway, I might include it in the December one as well. But I really enjoyed it and would definitely recommend if you enjoyed Will of the Many. So the first book, The Will of the Many, follows Vis, and he is living in this world which is controlled by something called the Hierarchy, which is kind of a Roman Empire inspired dynasty, and people do something called cede their will. So will is a sort of power, and the more power you have, the more will you have ceded to you. So if you're at the bottom of the pyramid, you cede your will to other people, and then if you're at the top, you get lots of will from other people. It's like a giant pyramid scheme, and the more will you have, the more sort of power you have. And Vis was the prince of a island kingdom that got conquered by the Empire and has now sort of gone undercover. He gets recruited by some politicians in the Empire or the Hierarchy, and they send him to this prestigious military academy to figure out a few secrets. And obviously Vis has his own agenda as well. So yeah, it's really good. Would highly recommend. The only thing I'm slightly disappointed about in this book, because I feel like I can say this because it's the whole, so we can judge the aesthetics, so I am happy they did the reversible dust jacket. So basically the first book, get it here, The Will of the Many, this is the style of the cover. And then for some reason they changed the cover designs. So they changed it to like, I'll get it off. They changed it to this style, which I do kind of like, but I don't like as much as this one. However, so I'm pleased they at least included this rather than just giving us this. But the quality difference between this side and this side is so stark. Like, why couldn't they have made this side good? Because everyone I've ever seen with this book always has it set on this setting. So this is like a really nice matte glossy texture, and then this is just weirdly patent, but the first one is the matte texture, and then it doesn't quite line up properly, the spine, it's a bit weird. This was clearly the low effort side, which I'm slightly disappointed by, but I am pleased they at least did us the reversible, so at least we have the option. But maybe for book 3, Saga Press, if you're listening. High quality on both sides, please. Thank you. Oh, I've put it back on now. Okay, so that's that one. Then next we have Brigands and Bread Knives, which is the third book in the Legends and Lattes series. Although I feel like technically this is maybe the second book, and then what's it called? Bookshops and Bone Dust is a prequel. I would call this the third book though. By Travis Baldry. So this is a really pretty edition with the green sprayed edges and little bonfires and axes. And also, as always, it has the amazing like cover art. Yeah, so I do really like this edition. It's just the Waterstones, what you could buy in the shop. I actually don't really like sprayed edges that much, so I was looking to see if they just had a plain one, but they didn't, so I went for this one. But it has grown on me, I do like it. I've read this one as well. Legends and Lattes is one of my favourite books. Yeah, they're cozy fantasy. This one is maybe slightly less cozy than the others, but we're following Fern, who is a ratkin, which is this little rat creature. And she has owned a bookshop and knew Viv in the past, and then moves to the town where the Legends and Lattes cafe is to like newly set up a bookshop, but she's feeling dissatisfied in her life. So one day she gets drunk, ends up as a stowaway in a car on the cart of this famous travelling elf who like is just a legendary elf in the world, who goes around doing good deeds, and Fern joins her on her adventures. So that's what this book is. It was really cute. I will save all my thoughts properly for the wrap up, but I enjoyed this. I didn't enjoy it quite as much as Legends and Lattes. I would describe this book is like the savoury to Legends and Lattes sweet. So Legends and Lattes like a cinnamon roll on a cosy autumn day, and this is like soup and crusty bread on a freezing cold winter day. So that's how I describe it. But yeah, I'm really happy I have this to add to my little collection. We can pop it, and now there we go. Okay. So then the next two books are books 2 and 3 in a series. So that is Howling Dark and The Demon in White by Christopher Riccio. So these are books 2 and 3 in the Sun Eater series. So as you can see, I've started Howling Dark, although I'm not very far in. So I read Empire of Silence in November and really enjoyed it. I'm going to just hold up one, I think. Although I love the colours on this one, I will just say. I'm obsessed. Also, another aesthetic thing to complain about is why. So all the other books, every single book in the series, including Empire of Silence and all the subsequent books, have this like rim, which I think looks really good. But for some reason, Howling Dark doesn't. It's so annoying. Like, why can't they all just match? Anyway, the series is about Hadrian, who's this mythological figure, and he's telling his story backwards in time. So at the beginning of the first book, we learn that he's like killed a son, he's conquered this enemy alien race, and now we're going to find out how he got to this point through his life, and he's going to tell us, which is quite a classic fantasy trope. I feel like quite a lot of books follow that structure, like Realm of the Eldlings, Name of the Wind. Yeah, and it's a sci-fi set mostly in space. Book 1's mostly planet side, but very much a sci-fi empire. Also quite Roman Empire inspired, it has to be said. Yeah, so I really enjoyed book 1. I thought the prose was very beautiful, philosophical. Hadrian's a really great main character. He's quite arrogant, but I kind of love him. I really liked exploring the aliens. There's this alien race called the Cecilin. I'm not quite sure how you say it, but yeah, and I'm excited to find out what goes on next in books 2 and 3. These two, everyone like hypes them up big time on the internet, especially Demon in White. Everyone's like, it's the best book ever. So I'm hoping that they'll be good. I think I've heard this book takes a big pivot like halfway through, so I'm excited. And excited to see more of the cast of characters, I think. I feel like I can already tell I'm gonna like, is it Basanda Lynn? Honestly, the start of this book is like setting him and Hadrian up to be enemies to lovers. I know it won't be. I feel like the series is quite straight, but I want it so bad. And yeah, there's another character who I've heard called Lorien. I don't think I've actually met him yet, but he's meant to be a really good character, so I'm excited. And I like Valka as well. Yeah, so looking forward to that. Then we have, this is the last book for me, and that is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. So I've been trying to get more into reading classics recently, and this was one that I really wanted to get to ASAP. This is such a stunning cover. I really like these Penguin Classics Black Spine editions. They always have the most stunning like paintings on the front. I love the Frankenstein one. I have it on my Kindle, but I'm reading Frankenstein now and like loving it, so I'm really tempted to buy a physical copy as well. I know I shouldn't do that, but yeah, so I'm really excited to read this. This is translated from French, which I didn't actually realise, but it makes sense. And it is the original tale of revenge. So I'll read you the blurb. So, thrown in prison for a crime he has not committed, Edmond Dantes is confined to the grim fortress of If. There he learns of a great hoard of treasure hidden on the Isle of Monte Cristo and becomes determined not only to escape, but also to use the treasure to plot the destruction of the 3 men responsible for his incarceration. So yeah, I'm so excited to read this. It's a big book, but I've heard really good things. I'm really looking forward to the vibes of this book. I think it's going to be very like Princess Bride, southern France in the 1800s countryside. I don't know, 1700s? It says, oh yeah, no, 1800s, yeah. Swashbuckling, sword fighting vibes. So yeah, really looking forward to that. And I've heard it's relatively easy to read for a classic, despite its size. And I honestly feel like big books don't intimidate me that much. I think because I read so much fantasy. Like it's no longer than a Stormlight book. So yeah, looking forward to tackling this in 2026. Okay, then actually I lied because I have one more book that is for me. And I meant to do this in the last haul, and I think I even talked about the bookshop, but then forgot to actually show the book. And this book is called The Shuttle by Frances Hodgkin Burnett. So this book is from Persephone Books in Bath, and they're a small publishing house that publish like forgotten works of fiction from women in the 19th and 20th centuries, which I love that whole vibe. This is such a stunning, all their books are like in this grey cover and have matching spines that someone does, thankfully. And then they all have a different end page design and you get a matching bookmark. Yeah, and in the bookshop they just had kind of descriptions of each book, which were largely vibe-based descriptions. So this is the one I chose. This is meant to be kind of Downton Abbey vibes. I think it's basically about some English gentry and an American heiress, and the American heiress comes to marry one of the gentry, and then it's about their marriage, and it just sounds like rich people politics. So I think I will enjoy it. And yeah, so I'm really excited to have this one and read it. I'm hoping the writing will be beautiful. So yeah, looking forward to that one. Okay, then all the rest of the books are for my family. So the first one we have is 11/22/63 by Stephen King, and this is for my brother. I've never read a Stephen King book, but I know he's a great author. He's so famous and prolific. And my brother said someone had told him that he should read Stephen King, and also he likes thrillers and stuff. So I suggested this one to him, and I said I think it's about when JFK gets assassinated and someone goes back in time to change it. And he said, oh yeah, that sounds good. So got this one. So that is what it's about. It's quite long actually. I don't know, 700 pages seems a lot for a thriller, but obviously there's probably a lot of politics and history to explore. So it's about someone who gets a chance to go back in time and try and prevent the JFK assassination, I think by going to school with the person that does the shooting. So it sounds really good, and yeah, I hope he enjoys it. This is a cool edition. I feel like they've really, the UK has got their branding right on the Stephen King books, because they all like have these cover spines with different colours, and then they all have sort of matching covers on the back. So yeah, that's cool. So that's that one. Then we have The Housemaid. So this is for my brother's girlfriend, by Freida McFadden, and this is a thriller. I've never read any Freida McFadden books, or I don't really read thrillers, to be honest. And I know this one has a film coming out soon. I'm pleased that we managed to get a cover that wasn't the film cover, but I hate film covers. Like I used to hate it when I was a teenager, and still do. But yeah, I don't know if I will watch the film. I don't think it's my thing really, but I do love Amanda Seyfried. But yeah, anyway, so this book follows, I don't know her name, it doesn't tell you the name on the blurb, but basically like a nanny or a maid who goes to this rich people's house And the rich lady there, she says, like, I tried to ignore how Nina Winchester just makes a mess just to watch me clean it up, tell strange lies about her daughter. Her husband seems more broken every day. But it's hard not to imagine what it would be like to live Nina's life. The walk-in closet, the fancy car, the perfect husband. I only try on one of Nina's pristine white dresses once, but she soon finds out, and by the time I realise my bedroom door only locks from the outside, it's far too late. So yeah, it sounds good. For some reason, I always thought this book was about a housemaid that, like, witnessed a murder through the keyhole. I think maybe that's just because of the cover. But yeah, it doesn't sound like it's quite about that. But yeah, so hopefully she says it's amazing, then maybe I'll read it. So yeah. Then we have The Black Lock. So this is another thriller, and this is for my uncle. This Peter May is quite a prolific thriller author, and I think he generally writes books that are set in Scotland. And this book sounds like it's set on a remote island in Scotland, which is like the perfect setting for a thriller. You've got some bleak coastline on the front, and it sounds like a body's found on the beach, and then turns out that someone's been having an affair with the murdered girl, and then they go to try and solve the murder. So it sounds like your classic mystery thriller, murder mystery. So yeah, hopefully my uncle enjoys this one. And then we have this one for my dad, which is called The Full English. So this is a non-fiction kind of, I'm not sure it's really teaching you much. I think it's just some guy going around England, like, gathering stories from the locals. Yeah, so it says, Macaulay uncovers local heroes and secret histories over early breakfasts and last orders, all the while challenging us to embrace the messy, shifting, diverse nature of England and the English. So this sounds cute. I don't think it's my cup of tea, but my dad loves this kind of thing. So yeah, hopefully he enjoys it. I do, however, really like the illustration on the cover. I think it's really cool. And I also love the texture of this book. I started an ASMR channel, so now I feel like I notice these things. I feel like this book would be really good for, like, stroking. It's a very matte paper. It's very paper-like. It feels kind of old school. I like it. So yeah, then we have The Hallmarked Man by Robert Galbraith. So I think this is a murder mystery series, maybe. It's like the Strike series, which my mum loves. I tried to persuade her not to have it because it's J.K. Rowling, but who would try not to support. But she really wanted it, so as it's Christmas. Yeah, I got this one. I don't know what the series is about, and to be honest, I don't think I will read it. So yeah, I'll just leave that one there, but it's a nice hardback anyway. Although I do hate the stickers. So annoying. Well, this one it's so expensive as well. I mean, I had £5 off, but full price it should have been £30. Like, that's too much for a hardback. I remember when hardbacks literally used to be like £15. Why have they gone up so much? Okay, and then the last one, and this is for my grandpa, is The Book of Dust by Philip Pullman, Book 3, which is The Rosefield. So I've never read this series, but I really want to. I used to love Northern Lights when I was, like, younger. I remember getting completely obsessed with them for a bit. I think maybe it was after the film came out, and then I read all the books, and then just went through a real Northern Lights phase, and, like, had my own little compass. I think I must have made it or something, I don't know. But I've never read the sequel series, and I think it follows the same characters. And my grandpa owns all three, so I could quite easily read them. Yeah, so I do want to read them. We're still following Lyra, who's the main character in that series. And maybe it's when she's older and, like, trying to find her childhood joy again. I feel like that would be a nice theme for the series. But I don't really know a lot about it. I've heard that The Northern Lights still holds up really well if you're an adult reading it, which is great to hear. So I feel like this series will be good as well. So I do definitely want to read this. And I think my grandpa really enjoys them. So yeah, I'm pleased to get this for him. And although I have heard this one is not as good as the other two. But oh well. We'll have to leave it to his judgment. But it is a really pretty colour and cover. So yeah. So that is everything. I hope you enjoyed this book haul. Let me know in the comments if you've bought any books recently, or if you bought any books you're excited to give as gifts for Christmas. I would love to know. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I hope you're all having a great day, and I will see you next time.